go into your thoughts about live music, because I want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, live music is getting more and more because, as more restrictions fall, as more, countries and states and counties lift restrictions and whatnot with COVID, more and more artists are going to be going in and touring because there's actually been a lot of artists, like example, Fleet Foxes, they're like, we're going to cancel a lot of our shows because we're still not comfortable playing at shows or whatnot. And now a lot of those artists are like slated to play and they say, oh no, we're come summer we're going to play. So this summer especially is going to be huge for live music. I mean, you have the first Primavera Sound in LA that'll be happening in September, which I really fucking want to go to for that Sunday for Arctic Monkeys, and a few others. It'll be interesting to see how it goes and whatnot. And you have so many more and more live shows that are slated, more and more artists that have, example, Arctic Monkeys and a couple other, and like Neon Indian and Torimon, and a couple other guys that have announced shows like Kendrick Lamar as well, but they haven't released albums yet. So it's gonna be interesting to see when they do their albums, even like The Smile and a few others. They've announced tours, so it'll be cool to see how they complement that with album releases. But then also the other thing too is to see how well people respond to going to these events. Um, you've seen it here in the States that, they're pretty, people are really going to them. So it'll be interesting to see how it is throughout the rest of the world. See how comfortable people are, how well those events sell. And that's also, speaking of sell, that's another issue too within live music is so many people are trying to go to live music that some places are going to get sold out so fast. Also because you have bots and other issues within getting tickets to people, that people are going to have a hard time going to see live music in a way. So it's going to be really cool to have that experience back again. Like example, Dan going to Coachella, it'd be cool to have him report there. We report, you decide, and to hear him, the experiences on the ground of that. I mean, I'm going to go to some stuff sometime this year, and it'll be interesting to see how they go with more and more lifted restrictions, how comfortable we are, how comfortable people are on the ground. Because I really want to ask people that too, and to see how musicians do it live, because that's one thing that needs to be said too, is a lot of these musicians have not played live music in quite some time, and it'll be interesting to see how well they sound, if they even, they gel together well, or if maybe they have some misses here or there, or even within that they gain inspiration from other things because, they've had that hiatus, they've had that time gone and whatnot. Like example, I was listening to Lauren Mayberry, who she is the lead singer of Churches, and she was saying that it was really nice for them to go back to live music because they said that they gained inspiration, even though they had their album released last year, Screen Violence, which we both really enjoyed. They said that even within just doing that tour, they got a lot of feedback with their music and like, oh, cool, we really are now, we want to go back and record more. We want to go back and go more in depth into what we did then, and to try to make a different sound and whatnot, different ideas, even different concepts and whatnot in that. So it'll be interesting to see how artists and bands and stuff do with that. And I'm very, very excited for it.
Yeah,
Also, I'm excited for people saying that I'm going to the Crypto.com arena.
I'm never gonna say it. I'm still gonna say I'm going to Staples Center.
It's always Staples. Oh, it's always Staples.
um, as I'm scanning tickets, it's like, oh, they say Staples Center on them. No, they say crypto. No, they say Staples Center.
No,
2 plus 2 always makes 5. And so the yeah, I'm really interested.
Dreamer.
I'm really interested in the live music aspect. I'm also cool. I can be a dimmer here for like 30 seconds. People don't know how to behave. People just don't know how to act. After COVID and after all these lockdowns and restrictions and whatnot. And so people are going to be really tense. I hope we don't see more repeats of like the Travis Scott Astro World situation, but we might. And I hope that artists do what they've largely been doing, which is saying like, hey, we will stop shows to make sure people are safe at our shows, because that's super important. But on the other two last things I want to address from what you said are ticketing. We covered a lot of stories on Audioface where like they were about to like solve the bot issue, where like it was a little bit it was a little bit creepy data wise, because like I think they were testing it with data Swift. That's a Freudian slip.
That's a new one.
That's a Freudian slip. They were testing it with Taylor Swift, And
Yeah.
they were like, okay, we're going to verify how much of a fan you are based on other activity you've done. And if you like have done that, then we'll give you the tickets. Like, cool. I think there are a number of different ways you can experiment with making sure that bots don't get tickets people do. And I think we just need to try more of those ways possible, because you are getting, maybe not, I'm speaking super anecdotally, but I'm definitely hearing people who are like having really a lot of trouble getting tickets. And like, it shouldn't be like the Super Bowl where the nosebleed seats to experience live music are $5,000. I don't believe they should be $150. I believe like concert tickets should be like no more than like maybe 2 hours worth of minimum wage salary at most, right? Like they should be universal experiences. But like that's Power Report for you. That's a different podcast. Like, but hopefully concerts are accessible and affordable. And here's something maybe the streaming giants could do to make me hate them less. If they spend some of their goo gobs of money the same way Netflix is doing to save certain theaters that are going out of fashion because of the way streaming is accidentally killing them. Maybe if the streaming giants went, we are going to make it so we have these like avenues that more fans can watch live music, whether it's through streaming more concerts or like making it so maybe like you sign in with your Apple Music subscription or some other way of verifying you are a real person, right? In order to do these things. I don't think that's the best way, because you can make a fake Apple Music subscription or whatever. And I also don't want it to be like, oh, all the Apple Music heads watch the Weekend show or whatever, right? But although it would be fun to go to like an all Bandcamp Epic Games show.
That would be actually pretty funny if that happened.